Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and it is time for another video. And in this video, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about a specific type of subject that I usually don't talk that much about. And the subject is actually going to be about shot on video films. And I'm not saying that like anything that I'm some sort of expert on the whole shot on video genre in general. So some of these not videos, but some of these films that I'm going to talk about might not be shot on video, but this is just what I've gathered information from. And some of these, like I said, I'm not an expert on this subject matter, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about some films that I have in my collection and some films that I do not have in my collection that I've seen, and what I think about each and every single title. Now, I know that sounds probably gonna be really like a really long video because there's plenty of titles to go through. So I'm gonna go through some titles that I would say is one of the better ones if you want to get into the whole shot on video universe, because there's plenty of trash out there as well. So first up, I would like to say this is like basically like a top 10 list I made about, I think it was like half a year ago, and it's been like all over the place. So this was actually meant to be like a top 10 list at first, but I just figured, well, this is just going to be 10 random shot on video films that I will recommend people to watch. So I'm going to go through the list, and then I'm going to slowly go through some other titles that I have in my collection as well. Some of them that I have seen and some of them that I have not seen, and some films that I do not have on DVD or Blu-ray. So yeah, that's it about that. So I'm just going to go through the top 10 list at first. I know this is going to be really weird, but I'm going to try to do my best. So I'm gonna go through some of the honorable mentions or whatever. I'm not really sure if you can call it that, but you know what? I'm gonna start with the honorable mentions, and we'll see where it goes from there. So we have 13 honorable mentions. So let's see. A film called Phobe, The Xenophobic Experiments, which I actually watched today on YouTube. I know that movie has some sort of legit release. I think I saw that for sale like 3 or 4 years ago, and I sort of regret that I didn't pick it up. So yeah, that's a film that I would try to track down because I actually thought that was pretty entertaining. Then we have a film that I watched, I think it was yesterday, a film called Fatal Images from 1989. Really interesting premise. It's basically about this crazy killer who gets like, he kills like a victim and then he just takes a photo of himself before he dies or something, and that camera basically gets like cursed by him, so he pretty much gets resurrected from the grave every time someone uses that camera or like takes a photo of someone, and that's going to be the next victim. I think that's a really interesting premise, so I really like that one. So yeah, Fatal Images. And then we have, this is like a film which I wouldn't say is your greatest shot on video film, but it's quite interesting for how bizarre it is, and the film is Tales from the Quadrant Zone, and I think most people probably already know about this film that are into the shot on video genre in general. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about that. Then we have The Nail Gun Massacre, which is a film which I'm not really sure. I think this is shot on video. I can be so wrong about this, but really crazy film about a guy walking around with a big helmet type of deal. So yeah. And then we have a film called Hollow Gate from 1988. We have Scream Dream by Donald Farmer from 1989. Things, which is one of the weirdest damn films I've ever seen, from 1989. And make sure that there is the film called Things from 1989, because I think there's like 2 or 3 other films with the same title that came out in the same type of era. So yeah. And then we have the film Spine from 1986 about the serial killer going around killing people. You pretty much already seen that type of film before. It has its charms. And then you have Demon Queen by Donald Farmer. Yeah, very weird and hard to explain that film, but it's quite entertaining. Then you have Shrek, not Shrek as in the ogre Shrek, but the film called Shrek from 1990, spelled S-H-R-E-C-K. So yeah. And then we have Black Past, the Ola Fittenbach film, Bad Karma by Alex Shandon, Video Violence 1 and 2. These are actually on number 10. I basically put those in the same type of in the same place. So yeah, Video Violence 1 and 2. And then the film that really surprised me, The Hackers from 1988, entertaining film like Backwoods Hillbilly shot on video film. Then you have City in Panic from 1986 on number 8. Terror Eyes from 1989 with a really interesting cast. I think Daniel Roebuck appeared in that film. And then we have at number 6 a film called I'll Kill You, I'll Bury You, I'll Spit in Your Grave Too. Just that title is just bonkers. But I really enjoyed it. And you have The Mad Mutilator from 1983. This, I don't think this is shot on video, so I'm just gonna mention that film just slightly. So yeah, Mad Mutilator from 1983, which I did make a review of. Then you have Blood Cult at number 4 from 1985, and Streets of Death from 1988, 555 from 1988, and Fatal Exposure from 1989 at number 1. Now this is going to be a really weird video because now I've pretty much mentioned very much like every one that I've enjoyed. So I'm gonna go through some of the films in my collection which I haven't seen yet, and you might give me a suggestion of what shot on video film I should watch next. Truth or Dare, which is supposed to be one of the very best shot on video films. I think Elijah Wood mentioned this, that this was one of the films he watched it when he was a kid and he really enjoyed this one. So yeah, Truth or Dare, sorry, I completely butchered that. Then you have this one. This is pretty damn stupid. Wood Chipper Massacre. This is so damn stupid and so damn bad that it sort of gets charming in a way, in my opinion. But if you're not into shot on video films in general, I think you will probably just hate this film. But yeah, Wood Chipper Massacre has some funny parts in it though. Then you have, this is actually a triple pack, you can say, triple pack. Satan's Black Wedding and Criminally Insane. I've included this one because this also has Crazy Fat Ethel 2 in it, which is the sort of sequel to Criminal Insane. Yeah, not seen any of those yet, but I've seen Death Nurse and it seems to be very similar in tone. Then we have a collection of films by Eric Stanze, and in this package you have Savage Harvest 1 and 2, Scrapbook, I Spit on Your Corpse, I Piss on Your Grave, which I have seen, which is just so damn annoying in my opinion, but yeah, that's just me. Then you have, what's it called, Eyes from the Sun, Deadwood Park as well in this box set. Only seen I Spit on Your Corpse, I Piss on Your Grave, and I did not like that one at all. I think that's probably one of my least favorite shot on video films. Then we have this one, which is one of the first ones, I believe, Boarding House, not seen. I'm a little bit afraid of the longer version of this because it runs for almost like 3 hours or something, so yeah. Let's see here, then we have these two, which pretty much goes like hand in hand, I've heard. Death Nurse 1 and Death Nurse 2. This is pretty much just like an arcade footage type of deal over this one. I have seen the first one, and the first one is pretty damn stupid and pretty damn bad, so I'm just gonna assume that the sequel is even worse, so yeah. Then you have a shot on video slasher film called Murder Lust, which I think is pretty underrated actually. I think it's pretty damn vile as well, so if you're into slasher films from the 80s and you do like shot on video films as well, go pick this one up. This is really great. This also has Project Nightmare in it, by the same director, so yeah. Then, like I've already mentioned this, I'm not gonna go that much into any details, but Nail Gun Massacre is a little bit cool because this is actually signed by the director himself, Terry Lofton. Then we have some more titles by Massacre Video. Another one of those, like I mentioned before, Spine. One of the better shot and video slashers. Then we have this one that I mentioned also before, Things, released under that Intervision label. This one I have not seen yet, but this is one of the earliest films directed by David A. Pryor. You probably already know the title, Sledgehammer, also a slasher film. Then we have these three. All of these three is by the same director, like I mentioned before. I think I mentioned that before, but yeah. Black Past, Olof Wittenbach, Gorefest, The Burning Moon, and then Primuto's Lord of the Living Dead. Now let's see here. Then we have, I'm not sure if this is even like a shot and video film or not, but Ankle Biters. So stupid, but still pretty damn funny. This one I was disappointed on. Splatter Farm. I think this is a Polonia Brothers, correct? Polonia Brothers production, and yeah, I don't think I've seen that many of their films, to be honest. But yeah. Then we have this double pack. VG Violence, which I already mentioned, is one of the better ones in this genre. This one is definitely probably in the top, like I mentioned before, in the top 5. 555. Really funny. Then you have Ghoul School, not seen yet. Then we have Cannibal Camp Out, not seen that one yet either. Then we have these two, Demon Queen and Savage Vengeance. I've only seen Demon Queen, like I mentioned before. I think it's pretty damn stupid, but still quite funny. Savage Vengeance, I've heard, is supposed to be one of the worst shot and video films and one of the worst films ever. This was supposed to be like a I Spit in Your Grave 2, but the original director of the original sort of like tried to sue Donald Farmer over that, so we had to change the title and the name of the character, played by the same actress that appeared in the original. So yeah, that's what happens sometimes. Then you have the Violent Shit trilogy, which I have yet to watch, and I've had this collection in my collection for, I've had this set or whatever in my collection for such a long time. So yeah. And then we have these two, Blood Cult and Revenge. I have yet to watch Revenge, but I am a big fan of Blood Cult, so yeah. That's all of the films that I wanted to talk a little bit about, or like recommend, or yeah. I wasn't really sure of how I would make a list like this, because like I mentioned before, I tried to make a top 10 list, but it was almost impossible to do that, because short and video films are very hard to describe and very hard to recommend to people that are not into the whole genre, like that doesn't really know that much about the genre. It's just like you have to explore for yourself and see if it's your cup of tea. But the ones that I mentioned in the beginning of the video are the ones that I would say is the best way to introduce yourself into the whole genre. So yeah. So hope you enjoyed this video. I know I kept mumbling on and on and on about these things, but yeah, I tried to do my best. So yeah, hope to see you again as soon as possible. So see you next time. Bye bye.